Injured on duty. A multi-million-dollar human rights complaint lodged against the Windsor Police Service. Final preparations underway.
There's a couple of steps in order to cross the border from a security and a payment perspective.
A private bus company claims it is taking over the tunnel bus service to and from Detroit. And it's a love story. Baby, just say yes. Pop sensation Taylor Swift engaged to top football player Travis Kelce.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We're into the last week of August now and the final week for tunnel bus service. City Hall made the call to scrap the service this spring, helped along by strong Mayor Powers. But is it really the end of cross-border bus service? CTV's Chris Campbell joins us now outside the Windsor-Detroit tunnel tonight.
Yes, Stephanie, Transit Windsor will make its last tunnel bus run on August 31st, but there are signs another company could be ready to roll in just a few days after that. ABC Coach, a Toronto-based company, told CTV News it plans to start a private service across the tunnel the first week of September. Officials say fares will stay the same at $10 each way. The schedule is still being finalized, but the goal is to mirror the old timetable.
We were all aware of the fact that private companies are going to sprout up and handle bringing people back and forth. I believe this is just one of those, and we're hoping that in the next few days they can communicate to all the relevant parties to provide the service for Windsor Essex.
But the company has not said where its buses will run from or where people can buy tickets. They also haven't agreed to an on-camera interview. The Windsor-Detroit Tunnel Corporation says they too are waiting for word from DW Tunnel Bus Service officials.
I've reached out to them because I think it's important that they have some communication with me. This is, there's a couple of steps in order to cross the border from a security and a payment perspective. But I have yet to hear from them.
Transit riders CTV News spoke with had plenty to say.
I think that they should have just kept the old one going. It's been here since I was little. It's probably been here before that.
If it gives Windsor some employment, that would be great.
Privately owned company will do their work more efficiently.
I do think it'd be better in the public hands, just generally because there might be more of a motivation to run it faster.
I think our members are skeptical of this service. Who is running it? Certainly, really interesting that it came out just after the decision was made at council, relatively speaking.
In the meantime, local advocates are hosting a send-off. Activate Transit Windsor Essex and Detroit's Transportation Riders United are holding a farewell event August 30th at Rock Bottom Bar and Grill, one night before the last city-run tunnel bus.
It's important to commemorate that. Certainly in December, when the full service ends, we will be doing something that's a little bit more on the advocacy, more on the activism side of things.
That full service being the special events bus that's slated to continue running until December. So, Stephanie, while Transit Windsor makes its final tunnel crossing on August 31st, the private operator says it hopes to keep riders moving just a few days later. We're still hoping to get company officials on air to share more details in the coming days.
Okay, looking forward to it. Chris Campbell tonight. Thank you, Chris. This brings us to our question of the day. Would you use a third-party tunnel bus service? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked, do you feel safe in your neighborhood? 525 people voted, 75% saying yes. All this tunnel bus talk, of course, comes amid continuing developments around tariffs. The latest, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc sitting down with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in Washington today. LeBlanc made the trip down to Washington yesterday, with today's meeting scheduled to last about an hour. Sources tell CTV News it went longer, lasting about 90 minutes instead. Also in the room, Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kristen Hillman, and Prime Minister Minister Mark Carney's chief of staff. The meeting comes just days after Prime Minister Carney announced that Canada would be dropping some of its retaliatory tariffs on American goods. On August 1st, U.S. President Donald Trump raised tariffs on Canadian goods not covered by the current free trade agreement to 35%. Now, businesses hit hard by trade challenges can now start applying for funding. Officials from Ottawa announcing this in Hamilton this morning, saying the Regional Tariff Response Initiative is here to help.
This is a 3-year program. It's a $450 million national initiative that will support businesses and organizations to help businesses grow, adapt, and lead in the changing economy. Part of that $450 million, almost $160 million, will be here in Southern Ontario. This includes investing in digital tools and automation to boost productivity, to enhance competitiveness, to strengthen our domestic supply chain, to enhance internal trade and market diversification, and enable greater resiliency among Canadian businesses.
The government says businesses in Southern Ontario and elsewhere are under pressure, including key sectors like the steel industry. The Tariff Response Initiative will include up to $150 million nationally, as you just heard, to support that sector. 2 Windsor officers have been cleared after a deadly police shooting last fall. Those 2 officers have been cleared again after Ontario's Special Investigations Unit released its findings on Monday, clearing the officers involved in the death of 38-year-old Jason West. Police were called to the Food Basics on Goyo Street last September for reports of a man armed with knives behaving erratically. Investigators say West threatened staff inside, then moved towards a nearby beer store where officers confronted him. After repeated orders to drop the weapons and several failed taser attempts, shots were fired. The SIU says toxology tests found methamphetamine and THC in his system, and while West was not himself that day, officers acted to protect public safety. And Windsor police say the man wanted in connection to hate-motivated graffiti drawn on Ottawa Street has turned himself in. 38-year-old Stephen Pargelin was identified as the man belonging to be behind the August 10th incident. He faces charges of mischief and 2 counts of public incitement of hatred. The police service and its board facing now a $3.8 million human rights complaint. A constable claims an on-duty injury has been downplayed and her treatment altered because of a personal relationship with a superior officer. CTV's Maluske joining us, breaking down these details for us tonight. Michelle.
Yeah, Stephanie, the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario is being asked to compensate Constable Carrie Zacher, not just for damages but lost wages and added expenses she's had to incur after being injured on the job. Carrie Zacher has been a police officer since December 2016. Now 46 years old, Zacher has filed a $3.8 million complaint against the Windsor Police Service and its board. Zacher says she was seriously injured in August 2021 when she attempted to arrest a violent person. According to her filing with the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario, Zacher has been pressured by the service to return to work, even when she was on heavy narcotics to deal with her injuries. Zacher even alleges HR refused to cancel a return-to-work meeting on this day when she was in the ICU for a 7th surgery to fix a leak in her spinal fluid. Zacher believes her personal history influenced how she was treated. According to the HRTO document, Zacher was in, quote, an abusive relationship with a senior police officer. When she tried to end their relationship, Zacher says he spread rumors about her within HQ, sent dozens of texts or emails, tried to break into her home, and threatened to post intimate photographs. CTV News has confirmed Gregory Chamello pleaded guilty to criminal harassment in July 2022 and was sentenced to a year's probation. Zacher's sexual harassment and her requests for help caused the Windsor Police Service and Windsor Police Service Board to treat Zacher differently, as they believe she was, quote, disloyal for reporting her abuser. Zacher's lawyer wrote in the HRTO filing. In addition to damages, Zacher is seeking compensation for lost wages after the department stopped paying her on 2 occasions. She also wants compensation for repayment of loans she had to incur while off hurt, and Zacher wants a public apology. Zacher declined an interview with CTV News over concerns of being reprimanded for speaking negatively about the force. The service will not comment on any of Zacher's allegations, nor will they confirm if Chamello still works for the police department.
Okay, so Michelle, this is yet another HRTO complaint that the force is seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it made me wonder about how many there were out there. So I looked into that as well. This one brings it to a total of 10. Windsor Police and its board are currently facing 10 complaints in front of the HRTO. That's the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario. They have 47 total where they are named respondents. Alternatively, there are no active complaints with the Human Rights Tribunal of Ontario against the LaSalle Police, Chatham-Kent Police, Essex County OPP, nor the Chatham-Kent OPP service.
Okay, thank you for breaking all of this down for us, Michelle Maluske. Thank you.
You're welcome.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for our first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight, where, Gary, we continue to talk about cooler temperatures.
Cooler temperatures, beautiful conditions, blue sky. The air quality is excellent, in fact, right now, so we welcome that. Good evening, folks. Once again, temperatures are about 3 to 4 degrees below seasonal. It was even colder this morning. Imagine a low just before dawn Tuesday morning. 9.8 degrees was measured around 5 a.m. Yes, dipping into the single digits. We'll see a little bit more of that cool tonight into early tomorrow, projecting, 7, 8 degrees Celsius? And yes, there's still a chance between now and about 10 p.m. of some scattered showers coming out of the northwest. This northwesterly breeze is helping to keep us clear and refreshed. I'll talk about that with the complete forecast coming up. For now, I'll send it back inside to you.
Masked teens, knives, even a gun, and end of summer party in Chatham ended with multiple arrests. Chatham police say uninvited teens in ski masks crashed a party on Dillon Road just before 2 a.m. on Saturday. Witnesses told officers knives were drawn and one suspect allegedly dropped a handgun. The group fled but returned minutes later, where police moved in. Investigators say 2 17-year-olds from Chatham were arrested after drugs, a scale, and packaging material were allegedly found in their vehicle. A third teen, a 16-year-old from Blenheim, was also arrested for assault after a party-goer was left with broken teeth. Police say other investigations into the night's violence are still currently underway. Chatham-Kent Council can't seem to make up its mind after flip-flopping again on how to handle a controversial encampment. After first voting to move tents further away from homes, Council has backtracked, keeping the site in place and raising more frustration in the East End. Here's CTV's Robert Lothian.
Just call it for what it is. Chatham's East End is the city's dumping ground.
For the third time in 4 weeks, frustration over Chatham's largest encampment boiling over in council chambers. A final plea to move the Grand Avenue East encampment out of sight.
They just bring junk and garbage there, and they're kind of like, it just gets bad. And then you get, of course, used needles and all the usual stuff and everything. So I'm seeing it grow.
After originally approving a motion to keep tents 100 meters away from a home, council walked back that decision, hearing this would eliminate all municipal properties. Instead, the limit will be 25 meters, keeping this encampment in place.
It's not perfect, and hopefully it's not permanent, and I'm just hopeful that things will move quickly and we can resolve the whole encampment issue in Chatham-Kent.
The municipality's head of legal services telling council the options are limited. Previous legal cases established a right to shelter on public land when housing options are not available.
Council's options in dealing with this difficult social issue are seriously constrained by a number of legal cases.
Council is also funding privacy infrastructure at other potential encampment sites, and Jubenville is asking the city to explore establishing more addictions treatment options and housing resources.
After people have completed the detox, they don't necessarily have a place to go because there's a waiting list to get into treatment programs.
For Lebrec and the rest of Chatham's East End, the new reality is frustrating, but not surprising.
This is Chatham-style NIMBYism. It's the chef's kiss. It's just, they did a great job. in terms of like sticking it to the East End.
Robert Lothian, CTV News, Chatham.
An update to a story we brought you yesterday. The municipality of Chatham-Kent says it's working with the displaced residents of 99 McNaughton Avenue West, now more than 1 year after a devastating fire. The municipality also says residents living in the lower level of Block B started moving back in today. It was on August 25th last year that fire tore through the municipally owned social housing apartment complex. Block B is the final of 4 blocks to see residents return. Officials say the goal is to have everyone on the upper level back by November 1st. Meantime, officials say anyone with concern over missing personal items or issues with strangers being inside the complex should contact their insurance provider or the municipality.
If certain people were getting in, we were following up on those, seeing how they got in. Some, it could have been a tenant let them in, or a door was left open. And if there was issues with the security company, we're following up with them right away. And we're taking those issues very seriously.
When you're booking a ride on the Pelee Island Ferry, make sure you're on the right website. The Owen Sound Transportation Company says a fraudulent site is impersonating its official service. The company stresses only its real site and published phone numbers should be used to reserve a spot. OSTC says it's working to get the fake site taken down, and if you think you've already been duped, call your bank and your local police. Meantime, LaSalle Council is debating a new tourism tax tonight, with a report asking the town to join a countywide push for a municipal accommodation tax in partnership with Tourism Windsor Essex Pelee Island. The tax would be charged on short-term rentals, with revenue split between the town and TWEPI. Based on 2024 numbers, LaSalle rentals pulled in nearly $1.7 million. That means a 4% MAT could bring in about $70,000 a year, or more than $100,000 at 6%. Leamington will also discuss the tax tonight. And Windsor's tackling a toxic threat along the Ganacho Trail. Starting September 2nd, contractors will begin spraying to control wild parsnip, a noxious weed in Ontario that can cause severe burns and blisterings if its sap touches your skin in sunlight. The work will run through September 12th in the Little River Corridor using a pesticide registered under the Pest Control Products Act. Officials say it's all part of keeping the popular trail system safe for the public. The University of Windsor says a new partnership is focused on improving access to health care. The U is teaming up with Green Shield to expand mental health support and primary care access in the region. The collaboration will develop training tools for workplaces, launch a new model for equity-seeking groups, without consistent doctors, and open research opportunities for students and faculty. Windsor Hall on Ferry Street is also being renamed Green Shield Hall as part of this deal. And the university is heading back to the bargaining table tomorrow. Talks are underway this week with Unifor Local 444, representing 26 special constables on campus. They've already voted unanimously in favor of strike action if needed when their contract is set to expire August 31st. The university says negotiations will continue beyond August 29th if necessary, stressing they remain committed to a fair deal and have contingency plans should job action occur. Meanwhile, Unifor Local 2458, representing engineers and mechanics at the school's Energy Conversion Center, are also at the table this week, with its deal expiring on the same day. Local small business and entrepreneur hopefuls across Windsor Essex just got a boost from the Ontario government today. The Associate Minister of Small Business, Windsor's mayor, and other officials were on hand at Timber and Plum on Wyandotte for this special occasion. The minister announced a $2 million investment in Futurepreneur Canada. Will help more young people develop and launch businesses, and in doing so, strengthen Ontario's economy, create jobs, and and help to combat the impact of U.S. tariffs. The funding will support 320 young entrepreneurs between the ages of 18 to 39 with access to financing, mentorship, and guidance to start and grow successful businesses. This effort is part of the Ontario government's plan to protect the province's job sector, workers, and build a stronger, more self-reliant economy.
And in hard-hit areas like Windsor, of course, it's even more important because often they find it very difficult. A lot of people don't want to invest in those businesses because the uncertainty that they're facing right now. So I think programs like this, especially at a time like now, are so important.
Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, tariffs are changing the way Canadians shop. Why more people are turning to local businesses. From friendship bracelets to a diamond ring, music's biggest star engaged. And tomorrow, Lakeshore is unlocking millions for new housing. Why they could cash in when Windsor couldn't. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Prime Minister Mark Carney continuing his mini-European tour with a stop in Latvia today. It's the latest leg of his journey to strengthen ties with European allies. Canada is also looking for new trade partners amid U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war. It's also a timely visit considering Russia's ongoing war in nearby Ukraine. Carney spoke this afternoon at a news conference with Latvia's Prime Minister.
This nation understands how precious freedom is and how precarious freedom can be. That recognition by Canada coming 34 years ago, of course, was after Latvians courageously reclaimed your independence, in this case from the Soviet Union's, going to the barricades at the major buildings, including the parliaments.
Carney was in Berlin earlier today meeting with the German Chancellor. The PM announcing that companies in Germany and South Korea are the final contenders to supply Canada with new submarines. Carney also announced a new joint declaration on critical minerals cooperation with Germany. U.S. President Donald Trump is again hinting at imposing more sanctions on Russia if President Vladimir Putin does not agree to a ceasefire. Trump says he wants to bring an end to the war, and the best way to do it is direct peace talks between Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
It's very serious what I have in mind if I have to do it, but I want to see it end. I think that in many ways he's there. Sometimes he'll be there and Zelensky won't be there. You know, it's like, who do we have today? I got to get them both at the same time. But I want to have it end.
To the state next door, where a Grand Rapids man previously convicted on drug charges is accused of having nearly 3 pounds of cocaine mailed from Arizona. Apparently that's happening more and more in Michigan. NBC's Susan Samples has more.
Now calling 25 FY 14.
A career dealer, Cordero Lambert, knows the drill here.
We have the people of the state of Michigan versus Cordero Lambert.
The 38-year-old's latest arrest came in mid-July after he picked up one of 2 packages from Arizona delivered to 2 addresses about 7 blocks apart on Grand Rapids Southeast Side, according to the police report. What he didn't know, court records show Grand Rapids police working with postal inspectors had Lambert under surveillance, arrested him, and found in the 2 packages dryer sheets used to mask any smell, school supplies, candies, and cocaine, nearly 3 pounds of it.
Definitely more than we've seen in the past few years.
Kent County Prosecutor Chris Becker said his office has filed delivery over 1,000 grams 6 times since last year. Big hauls for Metro Grand Rapids.
We have been making a dent into what the cartels have been doing.
Derek Ress of the DEA's Grand Rapids office said tighter security and more targeted investigations is making it harder for cartels to smuggle huge loads at once across the southern border.
Instead, they're like, okay, let's break it up into 100 different shipments going maybe all over a particular region.
And Ress said they're using mail delivery services to move it.
But the packaging through the postal services seems to be the big one at the moment.
Also big, cocaine. With the crackdown on opioids, demand for cocaine is growing, as is the price tag. The kilo of cocaine that fetched 15 to 16 grand last year is now going for 20 to 30 grand, while cartels find ways to iron out the kink in the pipeline.
These guys excel in subterfuge, so they're really good at blending in. It could be your next door neighbor, you would never know.
A new survey is shedding light on the impact the trade war is having on Canadian shopping habits. Interact says 78% of those polled reported redirecting at least one monthly purchase from a big box or international retailer to a Canadian business since tariffs were first announced. A quarter say they are shifting 3 to 5 purchases a month, while a fifth are redirecting 6 or more. The company says its transactions data shows small and medium businesses consistently outpaced larger merchants in year-over-year volume growth between April and July. Canada's main stock index finished nearly 170 points higher today, while U.S. markets also gained ground. The Dow was up 135 points. The Nasdaq climbed 95. The Canadian dollar down slightly, just 1/100 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold climbed about $15 an ounce. Oil is down $1.55 a barrel.
No other chair moves like this. It has sensors, so it can sense what a person needs and moves automatically.
An invention out of Michigan could change the way hospitals care for patients. The chair designed to protect those who can't move themselves. Coming up.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks to Mark Hewer, as always, for great images, just like this one. Just ahead, well, showers accompany the cooler than seasonal temperatures expected tomorrow. Find out next on CTV News Windsor.
A gorgeous day filled with sunshine. Gary joins me for an extended look. Gary.
Beautiful day, light breeze out of the northwest, and with that, it did feel cool and very autumnal. And for the most part, most people were comforted knowing that their afternoons weren't spent trying to get some shade and cool off and not be sweating out there. These temperatures are indicative of the pattern, this cooler air that's in place. 3 degrees below seasonal, reaching a high of 22. Our average is 25. The air quality has been fantastic of late. We are 2 out of 10 on the AQI. The lower the number, the better the air quality. So we're in that lower bracket. That's good news. It continues. It's been that way for the last several days. Holding between 20 and 21 degrees Celsius. That's 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit with a mixture of sun and cloud. Most of the cloud we see is cumulus or stratocumulus without any precipitation. It is warmer across the prairies, where Regina right now is 30 degrees Celsius, Calgary 26, 27 in Winnipeg, and we're in the lower 20s, upper teens. The winds out of the northwest sustain between 22 and about 28 kilometers per hour. That's provided that clarity, if you will. Persistent winds out of the northwest with clearer conditions have been welcome. So air quality has improved. The cooler air plus the cooler temperatures themselves have made it feel refreshed. And quite comfortable. There's still a draw out of the northwest, and with that, some scattered showers are possible between now and say about 8-9 p.m. this evening. But we don't anticipate a great deal of activity. Tomorrow should be sunny, in fact, especially in the morning before rains are coming for Thursday afternoon. Could see some thunderstorm activity the afternoon, Thursday into perhaps the nighttime. Right now, Thursday's up in the air, at least right now. We know it's going to be sunny for the most part for the morning, a high of 23, but I think thunderstorms are a possibility, so we'll make some changes there. Friday into Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Monday, the holiday, will still be in the lower 20s and looking at some sunshine. Tomorrow, there's a chance of a light shower with the afternoon, a mixture of sun and cloud. It should be pleasant enough. Let's look at your weather.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
University researchers in BC are using an $80 million supercomputer powering AI software, trying to create life-saving medications. With more on their progress, here's CTV's Kevin Chirac.
Professor Martin Nestor says new research out of Simon Fraser University is using AI to help speed up the development of new and potentially life-saving medication.
I've done research in AI for 20 plus years, and this is the most significant application of our AI or machine learning research that we have accomplished so far.
His PhD student, 25-year-old Tony Shen, created the software program. He says finding the right drug molecules to combat disease is like sifting through millions of grains of sand to find a few golden nuggets. But his program, he says, can speed up and simplify the process.
And this is where generative AI could really come in, where generative AI could design directly the molecule that could inhibit protein and cure the disease potentially.
The project is powered by SFU's most cutting-edge innovation, an $80 million supercomputer launched this summer.
So this is FIR. It's our brand new academic supercomputer. It is the largest supercomputer in Canada.
For Shen, the work takes on a very personal meaning.
I lost my grandparents to cancer, and I essentially heard from doctor that there is just no available treatment for their disease because it was too late stage.
He says his program has already drawn interest from drug companies, and they're now collaborating with the Vancouver Prostate Center to develop and test the medication.
Going to significantly speed up the process of drug discovery, and it may save lots of lives.
Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Burnaby.
And in the state next door to us, researchers are working on a chair they say could ease the burden on nurses and protect patients from painful pressure injuries.
SitSense looks like a normal reclining chair.
No other chair moves like this. It has sensors, so it can sense what a person needs and moves automatically.
Normally, patients with lack of mobility need to be physically moved by a nurse or even multiple if the patient is heavy. If they're not moved often enough, patients will develop pressure injuries.
We saw some of them being treated. They are deep, penetrating wounds that can get infected and are very, very difficult to heal.
Tamara Reed-Bush and Justin Scott, both with MSU, created the SitSense, a chair that moves patients to different positions, keeping them from getting pressure injuries.
I didn't know that this was such an issue, that pressure injuries affected so many people.
The chair goes through 12 main positions, but caregivers can make it move in any way they need.
Each position offloads an area of the body, so if you think of tissue being compressed, each position will uncompress a tissue that was previously compressed.
And this doesn't just help patients. With the nursing shortage affecting hospitals across the state and the size of some patients being larger, Bush says it's getting difficult for nurses to move these patients as often as they need.
The difficulty in repositioning a patient is becoming more challenging. This will help support the nurses in their job duties.
Coming up on Windsor's News Leader, the Tigers hit the field in Sacramento last night, and the 7th inning changed everything.
CTV Windsor and 93.9 Virgin Radio have your chance to rock the runway. Enter today's keyword at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win tickets to see Noah Khan Friday, September 12th at Rock the Runway in London and an overnight stay.
A tough night for the Tigers in Sacramento. Detroit carried the lead into the 7th with Tarek Skubal dealing on the mound. But that's when it all unraveled. A grand slam flipped the score and the Athletics piled on from there, handing the Tigers an 8-3 loss. It marks back-to-back defeats for Detroit to open the series despite another strong strikeout night from Skubal. The Tigers will look to get back on track in Game 2 tonight. The top prize in women's hockey made an East Coast stop this week. The PWHL's Walter Cup is in Nova Scotia for the first time, thanks to hometown hero May Batherson. CTV's Brianne Foley has more.
Finally fortunate that Nova Scotia was on Minnesota this year, so we finally have the Walter Cup here, and it's, I think, more exciting than Stanley Cup for me.
For the first time ever, the Walter Cup made an appearance on the East Coast, brought home by Nova Scotia's own May Batherson.
Since the first game, I kind of just jumped right in and tried to play my game and do what I could to help the team, and we ended up winning, so can't ask for much more in my first year.
Seeing both the Cup and Batherson is inspiring the next generation of players.
We're all from Cape Breton, and it's just amazing that a Nova Scotian has finally won this year.
It's very exciting, and she's a role model for girls like me.
I'm gonna know a lot more information about hockey here. Like, people who don't play the sport are definitely gonna maybe be curious and come down and see and meet the people.
You want to get me to sign it? Yeah.
Batherson knows that seeing your heroes up close helps young players dream even bigger.
You know, I try and do lots of local camps so they can see us on the ice and try to help them and just show them how fun hockey is, and they have something to dream towards now.
Be like confident when you're playing hockey.
I remember when May was saying about Turnbull, she looked up to her as a kid and all that, and then she's the one with the cup. Oh my God, it's so heavy.
With so much talent here in Atlantic Canada, she knows her own dreams can keep growing.
I mean, I know the community and the city of Halifax would really support a team if we did have one, so hopefully that's in the near future, and I know I would want to play on that team.
But for now, the Walter Cup itself got a taste of the East Coast.
We had some mussels and lobster out of it, so it's not really much more than seafood out of a Walter Cup that I could do to show East Coast.
Brianne Foley, CTV News, Dartmouth.
Now to that big news for the biggest star in music. Taylor Swift announcing more than just new music. She's engaged. Swift and NFL superstar Travis Kelce making the announcement on social media this afternoon, sharing some snapshots with the caption, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." The pair's real-life rom-com began when Kelce tried to Swift a friendship bracelet during her Eras tour. With appearances at the Super Bowl and Swift's sold-out shows, the couple has now been dating for about 2 years. There's no word yet on when they'll tie the knot or just how much of her forthcoming album is about him. The Princess of Wales is looking a little lighter these days, at least as far as her hair color goes. Catherine was spotted with noticeably blonde hair on Sunday. The 43-year-old was photographed in the passenger seat of a Range Rover with her husband, Prince William, driving and their children in the back. Kate debuted her new do at church with her family in Scotland. The princess is more than a year removed from her revelation at the time that she had been diagnosed with cancer. Early this year, she shared that she was in remission. Hey, do you have a new hairdo or an engagement ring to show off, or maybe something a little newsier? Text us your story ideas, news tips, questions, or comments to 10400.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. Enjoy a day full of entertainment, refreshments, and fun at The Walk for Parkinson's, Sunday, September the 7th at Malden Park. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you're talking real estate tonight, and maybe one reason home ownership seems to be getting harder and harder.
That's right. One expert says housing prices across Canada remain high for many would-be buyers, partly due to seniors holding on to their homes longer than they did in the past. Real estate platform Zound reports about 5% of seniors sell their homes, compared to 13% for the rest of the general population. Richard Ramirez says without as much turnover, there are less options for people to buy from. He says there are several factors that have made it difficult for seniors with detached homes to make the decision to downsize.
I think a lot of seniors today, they don't have a better option. There should be some sort of a need to move into a new home. But today, seniors don't want to move into a condo where they have to, use the elevators and all that. They still want to have a nice backyard where they can host family. They want to have a nice dinner over. But today, we don't have those kind of homes available for seniors to move in.
We've got the full story online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we've also got an article online, Melanie, about an alleged assault in Blenheim.
Yes, Chatham-Kent police have arrested a 48-year-old woman after an argument with her property manager. Officers responded to the incident around 6:30 last night. Police say it escalated when the accused uttered threats and assaulted the manager by pulling her hair. When others tried to intervene, she allegedly assaulted them too. You can see the list of her charges on our website. And in our social spotlight tonight, here's a new fear unlocked.
Just like a beautiful blue stripe right there.
This little boy isn't going to forget this trip anytime soon. He looked absolutely terrified, but hopefully he soon realized it wasn't real, Stephanie.
Yeah, at this point in time, looks pretty real to me. I even jumped just watching it right there. I can't imagine what that little boy's going through. Hopefully it gets out of his system eventually.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to want to go see the dinosaurs anytime soon.
And so many kids do love dinosaurs, so here's hoping. Okay, thank you, Melanie, and that's what's happening now. And some crazy video out of Missouri where a violent home explosion rocked an entire neighborhood. This doorbell camera provides a look at the explosion before debris rains down on the St. Louis County neighborhood. At least 5 people were injured and more than 20 homes damaged, some severely. The cause of this explosion is still under investigation.
This dog has had a jar on its head for multiple days now. We don't think it's going to survive if we do not jump into action.
Runaway pup finally safe. The jarring story and daring rescue still ahead.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
Cooler conditions, a little bit of a breeze there, but Gary, I love these temperatures we're seeing.
Yeah, very comfortable. I think most are agreeing that you can do pretty much anything outside, whether it's walking the dog, going for a jog, some golfers out there on the links enjoying it. The light breeze has been refreshing. The air quality has been good. That trend continues in terms of temperatures being below seasonal average. High today is about 25, average low 15. It has been cooler in the early morning periods. We will see some rain late Wednesday, possibly in the morning, and then again Thursday in the afternoon. Temperatures over the next 7 days as we head towards the long weekend will average a high of about 23 degrees. So very comfortable as we close out August.
Okay. Finally tonight, a high-stakes rescue with a happy ending. In Pennsylvania, animal lovers and a drone in the sky come together to save a stray dog trapped for days with a jar stuck on her head. Tonight, she's safe, healing, and getting a second chance. NBC's Bailey Martin has the story.
Finally!
This is the moment that the days-long search for a lost dog in a contained situation since Monday was found.
We thought, okay, this dog has had a jar on its head for multiple days now. We don't think it's going to survive if we do not jump into action.
Canine Rescue of Central PA posted photos of the dog with a jar on its head to social media after she ran off and went missing before getting help. At midnight on Wednesday, Dallas Furman, who's been using drones for rescue missions for years, got the call to take over the search from above a cornfield. He guided the group on the ground for 3 hours in the dark of night, and that's when the dog got her name, Dallas.
We work together with a team. When I say go right, they went right. And when people can work together and come together as a community, whether you know them or not, I mean, that's when great things happen.
It's this view from above that brought Dallas the dog to safety, landing in the hands of all the right people.
Yes! Hang yeah! We exclaimed because when she radioed back, we got him, and we all were just about lost it.
Dallas was extremely weak and thin, with tick bites all over her. But thanks to the efforts of these volunteers, she's set to make a full recovery.
We were just chasing her in circles, and it felt very defeating. So to finally get the good news that she is safe and, you know, knowing everybody that was involved, it was just an incredible feeling.
Love hearing that exact reaction when they finally did find her. Gary, I don't have any experience with this. Has this happened to Dino or anything similar?
No.
You always talk
really
about how...
Well, he's naughty. This is true. He's a lovable dog. He hasn't quite done anything like that. That is scary. It could end up very badly. But I love to see technology being used in such a great way. And I love what he also said about community, right? Just coming together. It doesn't matter where you know each other, what your backgrounds are. Work together, help each other out, and beautiful stories result.
And embracing technology to help save.
Yeah, I love it.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we will both be back tonight with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
Dallas is a good name for